Whew, far out. What a weekend. I feel like, well, I didn't film many videos. I just did a little bit of the what we did today stuff, but even then, there's like not that much content. I just need a bit more light. Not that much content to go off of in there. Just doing our thing, hey? It was Yana's birthday, and she doesn't really do birthdays, but I wanted to do just a little something for her. So I didn't talk about it in all of these because I was like, what if she's very clever with this stuff. Like, she'll catch on if you want to surprise her with something. So I did that, like, without, giving it away to her was the goal. And one of the things, like, if I talk about it on here, she might watch the videos for some reason. So, hectic. It was fun. A lot of big town chilling, but basically, wasn't too sure what exactly we could do because of the fact that, Yana was doing a launch on her birthday for her new series, Netflix But Make It Business, which is sick. A YouTube Netflix or a YouTube Spotify series thing that she's doing. So that's very exciting. Come up a bit so you can see me better. And yeah, so I was like in a bit of state of flux because I didn't know exactly what was even the weekend was going to entail for her, so I had to find out as we got closer to it and not book something like an Airbnb where it would be like completely uproot what she was trying to do. Because, I want to celebrate, but not like make it an inconvenience or like a bad thing for her. Yeah, so we did that. Just been working on doing that, just ended up getting a cake, organising that, and I got one of our church friends, I messaged her and asked her to, go buy a cake, and then I was like, I'll pay you back afterwards because I didn't have the ability to go get the cake and pay for it without Yana knowing, because she gets all of the notifications for finance stuff. So that's fun. So I was being a bit sneaky with that, and but then Yana did see, like, I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb after I asked my friend how it was going, and obviously Yana and I spend a lot of time around one another. So she messaged, and Yana was like, oh, what are you messaging her, Valerie, about? But she was already a bit sus because she thought maybe I was planning something, and then she kind of just put pieces together, but I asked her just to not ask me, which obviously gives away that there's something, but I'm not going to lie to her. But because that was Sunday, I actually, on Saturday itself, I organised for my parents to come over and Vincent and her mum to be here, and we just did a little cake and all that, which was really nice. So that surprised her, which was good. She was so caught up with what was happening Sunday, her actual birthday, that Saturday we could do that, which was nice. And we were just chilling, enjoying that, got to celebrate at church. The whole church family came together for it, so which was really nice. Yeah, and we got to celebrate together, and we brought out her cakes, sung happy birthday, and then we did it second time because some of the guys weren't there, and they did like a big booming one, which is pretty cool because our church is a standout thing is the worship is very loud because everyone's like really just going for it, belting it out, not really caring about how they sound that much, and it's beautiful. And to have that for Yana, it's just like the whole way was roaring with that, and I'm really glad that we got to do that for her. I'm very grateful. And she's not really too big on birthdays, and neither am I. I just like to take any opportunity that I can to show her that she is really special and express that for her. So it's not just once a year kind of thing. It's like whenever the opportunity arises, and just keep doing that. So that's really fun. Anyway, so we got into that. We did that, and then we just hung out. She went to bed at like 6 p.m. or something last night. It was pretty tight, or like even 5 p.m. just after she did her launch, because she was doing a lot of editing and that, and like working really hard. So I was just waiting on the floor in her office, just like chilling, popping up every once in a while if she asked me to check something. But other than that, just kind of staying quiet and out of the way. but I just enjoy being around her, kind of like our two dogs. They just enjoy being around us. Yeah, and then she went to sleep. We went out, got bubble tea and some food. I think all the food that we wanted was closed. So yeah, we just came back home, ate noodles. I think I got something whilst we were out. Anyway, doesn't matter. I ate something. I can't remember what. Then yeah, came here, and she went to sleep, and I went to sleep again, and that was it. Then we woke up and had a meeting this morning. So this is some interesting stuff as well. I'll summarize this because I've got some stuff to do as well. Basically, they were a bit like, Vincent was like, why isn't Yana at the meeting? You know, she's supposed to, and all that. And I said, that's a fair question. I'll ask Yana. And basically, it's like, the meetings are a given that I'll be there and the boys there because I'm the manager, but because Yana's the director of the company, it's like she'll be there when she's there, like when it's important to do so. But she's doing the most out of everyone in that group to actually move the company forward. Where it's like, if she doesn't do that, then yeah, so she can prioritize that and her other businesses, and that's part of her role being the director. Is that she doesn't have to come to all of the meetings. So just reiterating it to them and being like, it's not the same standard, and it's kind of like, well, when Vincent's the director or Hamung, then that's their call to do that kind of thing, but they have to have someone in charge like myself to actually take over those meetings. Yeah, because the meetings are more accountability, what are we doing to move things forward, and that's given, so they already know that I've stepped in as the manager. Yeah, that was fun. One of the things we're dealing with is basically we booked a job on Friday for today. So Friday it was confirmed to do today, but Hamung, who booked it, didn't tell Vincent, and Vincent's car got smashed on like Thursday night or something. His window got smashed, so he had to take it in for repairs. But just this morning, because Vincent didn't know, Vincent booked in and paid a deposit to get the window repaired at 3 p.m, the exact same time as the job today, because apparently that was the only time they had available. And so Vincent was like, oh, we can't do the job, we have to delay. And we had to take an approach. We had to be very stern with it, where it was like, no, we're not cancelling or postponing this job because we'd just be screwing over the people that we've agreed to before this. And it's like, they're our clients, basically. And not doing it so last minute, because basically the way I see it is like, we can get into a habit of operating out of our own convenience as the highest priority. I haven't told this to them yet, but I will at tomorrow's meeting probably. If we get so caught up in operating out of your own convenience, because that's a luxury that you have when you're running your own business, you can do anything and everything at your own convenience. You're not going to move your business forward if you just do that too much, though. It's like not at the you don't do that at the expense of screwing over the people that you're working for, like you're providing the service for, or the product. So it's one of those things where that was happening, and Vince was like, oh, I just want to reschedule, and he was very adamant about it, and I was very adamant about no, because number one, our highest priority is fulfill. Like, we've done what we needed to move the company to get this client, even if it's like a once-off to start with. Fulfill that. Like, what are you doing? That's the actual sale. That's the actual making the money to help reinvest into the company, move that stuff forward for them to get paid as well. And it's like the fact that it doesn't register is like, that's fine. It doesn't register. And I think sometimes they don't trust the fact that Yana and I have done this a lot before, and very successfully. 100% success rate actually with everything we've chosen to do. So it's not a coincidence the things that we're saying to do, work. I think that this tupu is actually the slowest out of all of them, because we're actually letting the boys do a lot of the stuff, which is why I've stepped in as the manager, because now I can oversee and be like, what have you done today, moving stuff forward. So basically get them to do the stuff that made it fast for us, because fast. It's kind of fast because Yana and I were like doing the things every day and managing ourselves, and like Yana didn't have to be like, Kaey-Lib, have you done this and this today? I mean, to a degree, but not like with everything. But with these boys, it's kind of like everything needs a bit of a kick up the bum, which is fun. You know, you step in, you do that, they learn to do that, and I get to learn a new skill, and they get to learn the skill of managing other people to do that too. So yeah, and then I was basically just telling Vincent, one, obviously we have their back, so they can take our car if need be. But Vince was like, I paid the deposit, there's no other option. Like, there is, you just leave the deposit with them, and you either do it a different day. But I was like, biggest thing is call up and ask if they have a different time. Can you do it earlier? And Vince was like, oh, they said they couldn't. I was like, call and ask what the earliest time is they can do. Then as soon as he called, he just came to our room, because obviously we all live together, and was like, oh yeah, we're gonna go now. So I was like, there was a time. It is what it is. When you call and actually ask, then you know for sure with that kind of stuff. So hopefully that sinks in a bit for them. But yeah, biggest thing is like integrity. So you don't screw people over last minute just because it's more convenient for you. Like, yes, your car got smashed, because Vincent did bring up a good point. Just like, well, sometimes stuff pops up. It's like, yes, but we can also resolve these situations in a way that doesn't require us to screw people over and act out of what's most convenient for us. I get that your car window's been smashed, so we have to get that repaired. And they were like, oh, we're just going to drive. So you want me to drive to sit on a towel for it? I was like, well, you should have just cleaned some of the glass off of the thing. But I mean, they're driven on a towel now to go get it repaired. But they're like, oh, it's an extra half an hour and that. I'm like, yeah, but you're putting your own comfort, convenience in that. Because you got to drive to go get the glass taken care of, because you weren't going to clean that out regardless for some reason. Like, I would move that little bit of it or something, because you're getting them to do the glass repair, people for your car to do all of that. But it's just like, man, you really got to remember to do the right thing by people. Like, if you've agreed to something, you've got to follow through on that. That's huge. Otherwise, we'd just build our business on nothing, like just screwing people over. So anyway, that was that. That was the main point that I wanted to make. And then, yeah, I am now going to do a little bit of work that I was supposed to do on like Friday, Saturday, which was making doing some tasks from our mentor. So I'll get on that, and then I'm going to striking at like 12 o'clock. So in about 20 minutes, I'll head off. Yeah, so I'm about 10 minutes early for that. But yeah, that's that. And I did want to make a quick video about basically something I talked about with Billy, one of my mentees, on Friday during our coach call. He wasn't sure basically about, do I want to do this? Do I want to continue working where I am or go somewhere new? Because he's got a little bit of a grace period where he can potentially go to the next place. But his biggest issue was like, he doesn't do well when he's like got all the freedom to himself and lacks that accountability. So we were just talking about that, and one of the biggest things is, well, if you lack the accountability, then, you know, we talked about different kinds of entrepreneurs or people where it's like the wanting it, not wanting it, and having what it takes and not having what it takes. And he basically fits more so into that category of like, he has what it takes, but he doesn't really want it. Like, he doesn't really care about having that much impact. He's like pretty chill. So he does a lot better under structure and authority, or like people holding him accountable, but not, but he still has freedom within that to do as he pleases and get the results. So for him, he's not going to push himself to build his business up to a certain point, because he just doesn't care. And that's perfectly fine. I think it's important to play into those strengths. Which is an interesting point. So we've been talking about that. I think he will go to the other place, because there's a bit more of that accountability and like responsibility there. And I think he can do the most. He's got a lot of gifts, and like he can play into those strengths and have the most impact, help the most people, serve God the best by playing into those. He's also Christian, so he gets it. We talk about that a fair bit as well. Anyway, I'm going to get to doing some work, shut these blinds a bit because it's warming up my office a lot. And yeah, I'm pretty tired today, but be good to go striking, and that always helps with the energy.